Hey everyone, so welcome. This is Ringside with Ruth. This is something I've wanted to get going for a long time. I've dragged my feet. It's kind of taken me a lot to get this going, but we're finally here, and I think we're here just at the right time. Now, this weekend, we've got a huge show coming up. In my opinion, one of the biggest shows we've had in the UK for a long time. It's part of Riyadh season. It is AJ Dubois. Now, I want to go over a few of the undercard fights, not all of them, but just a few of them. Some of the ones that I'm really looking forward to. And the one I'm going to kick off with is Buatsi and Hutchinson. Now, Buatsi is a fighter I've followed since basically his amateur career, and you can see watching him now, watching him in his last few pro fights that he's got that amateur pedigree, and you can see it in the way he fights. He's got this beautiful, smooth style, quite textbook. But at the same time, what's great about Buatsi is he's not afraid to take it to the trenches and kind of just grind out that win. Now he's fighting Hutchinson. He's coming off his career best performance, so again that makes this one even more exciting. And ultimately, what mostly makes it most exciting is Hutchinson seems to be able to have gotten under Buatsi's skin. I don't know how he's managed to do that because usually Buatsi is the ultimate consummate professional, so calm, cool, collected. But this time round, Hutchinson's really got under his skin and seems to have really kind of made him angry, which is, like I said, not something we normally see from Buatsi. Um, Now I think this is going to work in Boatsi's favour. One of the criticisms that you sometimes get with Boatsi is people say he's not going through the gears. We need to see more from him. It looks like he could do more, but he just sometimes doesn't. Now I think going into this fight on Saturday, he's got that spite and it's going to work in his favour. Maybe we'll see him take it through those gears. Um, Really interesting fight. I'm really looking forward to it. You can't count Hutchinson out after his last performance. Saying that, if I have to pick one, I'm going to pick one, and it's going to be Buatsi. I think with everything he's done in his pro career so far, and he has up to this day done more than Hutchinson, I think we're going to see that on Saturday. We're going to see that experience come through. I think that spite is going to help, and I think his ability to just be able to grind out the win might come into play as well. Now, another fight I wanted to go through, one on the undercard, is Warrington and Kakache. Now, again, another really interesting fight. The reason being is because the two fighters we've got in each corner, Warrington, you know you're going to get a real interesting, not maybe not interesting, but you know you're going to get a battle with Warrington. It doesn't matter who he's fighting, he's going in there to have a war. The only thing is he's now come up against Kakache, who, if you watch in his last fight, this man is a bit of a beast. Super featherweight. Last time out, he fought Joe Cordina. Now, Joe Cordina, I rate Joe Cordina so much, so slick, so technical, so fast. But it was like Kakache just he just walked him down. He looked like he was in a different weight class. Um, and that's the other thing. In this fight coming up with Warrington, Warrington's coming up in weight from featherweight up to super feather. He's not fighting any super feather. Kakache is a big, strong super feather, and I think ultimately that's going to be what shows. Warrington is coming off of two losses. It's a big ask for him, but if anyone can do it, I think Warrington possibly is the man that could. Saying that again, if I had to pick one out of the two, and I'm going to try and pick a winner out of all of the fights that we're going to talk about today, I'm going to go with Kakache. But I think it's going to be a great fight while it lasts. Now, last one I'm going to talk about before we get onto the main fight, and that is, who is it? Let me check my notes. Let me make sure we're still recording. Yeah, we're still recording. All good. We have got Kelly and Smith. Now, we haven't actually got Kelly and Smith. Unfortunately, Smith's pulled out due to injury, and I'm really gutted about that, to be honest. That was one of the fights I was most looking forward to. It was a great one again, a really interesting one. Again, this undercard's amazing. Really interesting one because for me, it was about, right, this is a huge step up for Kelly. Let's see what he can do against a fighter like Paul Smith, who is so seasoned. And then for Smith, it was more about, right, what Smith got left after his last performance with Chris Eubank Jr. That wasn't the Smith we used to see him. And I think everyone can probably safely say that was due to weight issues. But still, it was an interesting matchup with Kelly. I was really looking forward to seeing it. But unfortunately, like I said, it's not going to happen. We've now got Ishmael Davies. I haven't seen much of him, and he's going in there with 9 days' notice. Doesn't matter who you are. Going into a fight with 9 days' notice, you don't even bother talking about a camp. Really, from now forward, it's just going to be about sharpening up for him. That's all it is. With 9 days, yeah, there's not a lot you can do with that. Like I said, big ask. So I'm interested to see what Ishmael Davies can do with such short notice. But Yeah, so that's the undercard, really good undercard. There's a few more fights on there that I haven't mentioned, but let's get round to the main fight. I'm so excited for this one. It's a huge fight. Dubois AJ. Now, in many ways, these two fighters are in similar stages of their career. Now, bear with me. I know that sounds ridiculous because AJ, I believe, is 35 and Dubois is 26 or 27. So, but bear with me. But the reason I say they're at similar points in their career is because both of these men have, at some point in their career, been counted out. AJ went through a period after a few of his losses where basically people all said he's lost his grit, he doesn't want to engage. He's climbed back from that, as has Dubois in many ways. He went through a stage in his career where he was labelled a quitter, where people said he lacked grit. He's managed to climb back from that after his last two performances. His last performance, I would say, is his career best. Really good performance against Hrgovic. He uses, I think his feet are underrated. He uses his feet to get in and out of range. Not many people see that with him. And I also, you listen to any of his old sparring partners or his current sparring partners, and they all say his jab is unbelievable. They say he's got one of the best jabs in heavyweight boxing. And I think their jabs are going to be, they're going to play a massive part in the first few rounds. I think the first few rounds could end up being the battle of the jab. Um, so that's what they've got in common. Another thing they've got in common is the fact that they're both with a coach at the moment that they're in their, this will be their third or fourth fight so far with this coach. And they're both feeling really comfortable with their new coaches, if you want to call them new. Obviously, AJ was with Ben Davies. They seem to be working great together. There seems to be a lot of chemistry there, and there seems to be a lot of confidence there. And that's what we need to see from both fighters. Boxers need to be confident, but heavyweights, they're getting in with men that can knock them out with one punch. So that confidence is even more important. We're also seeing that confidence with Dubois, which is great. He really seems to have found his voice, which I'm loving. In past fights, there's been times where he hasn't really said much. Um, maybe hasn't seemed like he hasn't been sure what he wants to say or how he wants to come across. Whereas now he seems so much more relaxed, which I'm loving. But yeah, they're both seeming confident with their new coaches. They're both coming off of their last few wins and great performances. Now, saying that, I just watched for the third time. I just watched AJ. I just watched Dubois' last fight. Now, although yes, it is his career best performance, in my opinion, to beat AJ, he's going to need another career best performance because the Dubois we saw in that fight, I think, will struggle with AJ. I think he just took too many shots. Um, it's as simple as that. Hrgovic is not AJ. Yes, Hrgovic was a nice, fluid boxer, but first of all, we didn't capitalize, sorry, when he did land those shots on Dubois, and second of all, those shots, if they were landed by AJ, I think it would have been good night. Um, saying that, we all know AJ is the favourite in this fight. There's not too many people that are picking Dubois, but even though AJ is the favourite, and I think rightly so, he should be the favourite, I'm not betting my house on it. Dubois still offers enough of a threat to make this really, really interesting. Now, the place that where they're at different stages in their career is, like I said, their ages 26, 27, or however old Dubois is. If he does lose this fight, he can come again. He's in prime position to learn from this fight if he loses and come back and kind of capitalize on it when these guys all retire, when the Furies, when the AJs all retire, he can come again. Now, that is not the case with AJ. This fight is going to be his third crack at the world title. If he wins, he's going to be in the history books. If he loses, and if he wins, sorry, he's going to be in for a shot at the winner of Usyk Fury. If he loses, it's going to be a hard climb back for him if he even wants to do it. He's already done it once before. Is he going to want to do it again? And losing to Dubois, so much younger than him, yeah, I don't know if he's going to want to do that again. But I'm so excited about this fight. I'm really looking forward to it. I kind of rushed getting this ready because it was a fight that I wanted to talk about. I'm picking AJ. I think he's just going to have too much. I think he's too smart. I think he picks his shots really well at the moment, or he has been in his last few fights. I think he hits too heavy, and I think it's that little bit too much for Dubois at this point in his career. Saying that, I think it's going to be a great fight. I don't think it's going to go 12 rounds. And that's it really. That's all I've got to say. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. Like I said, I'm going to be covering previews, recaps, any boxing news. Hopefully I'll get another video up in the next few days. I'll definitely be going over the results of the fights I've just gone over. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it.